Welcome, let's talk money and build real wealth. If you make six figures and still feel like you're not getting ahead, you're not imagining it. There's a very specific reason some people build real wealth while others earn good money, their entire lives, and retire with just enough. And the difference is not income, it's not even discipline. It's the answer to three questions most people have never bothered to ask themselves. Here's what's wild. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau spent years studying what actually makes someone financially well off. And their conclusion was basically, it's not about how much you have right now. It's about trajectory, direction. Whether the machine you've built is accelerating or just maintaining. So today I'm going to walk you through three diagnostic questions based on that research and on patterns I've seen play out over and over that separate the people who will be wealthy from the people who will be comfortable. And comfortable sounds fine until you realize what it actually costs you in your 50s and 60s. Stick around, because the third question is the one that catches almost everyone off guard. Let me set the stage. Most financial advice is aimed at people who are broke, or people who are already rich. If you're in the middle, making decent money, paying your bills, maybe saving a little, nobody's really talking to you. And that's the danger zone. Because comfortable is the financial equivalent of a slow leak in a tire. You're still driving, everything feels fine, but you're losing pressure every single mile, and by the time you notice, you're on the rim. The CFPB framework identifies four pillars of financial well-being: control over your day-to-day finances, capacity to absorb a shock, being on track to meet your goals, and having the freedom to make choices that let you enjoy life. Most comfortable people nail the first one. They pay their bills. They're not in crisis, but they quietly fail the other three. They couldn't survive a real shock without debt. They're not on track for anything specific. And their freedom of choice is shrinking every year, even though their income is growing. That gap between feeling fine and actually being fine is where wealth either gets built or silently dies. Question 1. Is your savings rate higher today than it was 3 years ago? Not your savings balance, your rate. This is the distinction that trips people up, because your balance can go up while your rate goes down, and that's actually a terrible sign. Here's what I mean. Let's say 3 years ago you made $80,000 and saved $8,000. That's a 10% savings rate. Now you make $110,000 and you're saving $9,000. Your balance grew. You feel good. But your rate dropped to about 8%. You got a $30,000 raise and your savings rate went backwards. That's the comfortable trap in one number. Wealthy people, and I mean people who actually build significant net worth over time, not people who just earn a lot. Their savings rate trends upward as income grows. Not perfectly, not every single year, but the trend line points up. If your savings rate has been flat or declining for 3+ years despite earning more, you are on the comfortable path. Full stop. The money is coming in, it's just leaving faster. Question 2. Over the last 5 years, has your single biggest monthly expense grown faster than your income? For most people, that biggest expense is housing, rent, or mortgage. And here's the quiet mistake. Every time income goes up, people upgrade their living situation. Not dramatically, not irresponsibly, just a little. A nicer apartment, a bigger house, a better neighborhood. Each move feels reasonable in isolation, but your housing cost is the anchor of your entire financial life. When it drifts upward faster than your income, it drags everything else with it. Higher utilities, more furniture, longer commute, or higher property taxes. It's never just the rent. Now here's the thing, I'm not saying never upgrade where you live. That would be insane. But wealthy people tend to delay housing upgrades relative to income jumps. They let the gap between what they earn and what they spend on housing widen before they close it. Comfortable people close that gap immediately. They earn more, they spend more on housing, and the net effect on their wealth-building capacity is basically zero. If your biggest expense has grown at the same rate or faster than your income over the last 5 years, you've been running in place. You just have nicer shoes. Question 3, and this is the one that gets people. When you made your last 3 major financial decisions, a car, a vacation, a job change, a move, were you optimizing for how your life feels right now? or for how your life looks in 10 years? Be honest, because this is where comfortable and wealthy permanently diverge. Comfortable people optimize for the present. They pick the car that feels right today. They take the job that pays well now. They buy the house that matches their current lifestyle. And none of those are bad decisions in isolation. But stack enough present optimized decisions together, and you get a life that feels great at 42 and terrifying at 58. Wealthy people make at least some decisions that feel slightly uncomfortable today because they're building optionality for the future. They take the job with equity instead of the one with the higher base. They keep the paid-off car an extra 3 years. They choose the boring investment account over the kitchen renovation. The CFPB framework calls this having financial freedom to make choices that let you enjoy life. But here's the reversal most people miss. That freedom is built during the years when you deliberately choose not to use it. You earn the right to enjoy life later by making slightly less enjoyable choices now. Not miserable choices, not deprivation, just a consistent bias toward future you over current you in maybe 30% of your decisions. That's it. That's the gap. Now here's the part nobody wants to hear. Being comfortable is not a neutral outcome. It's an active choice with a real cost. Every year you stay on the comfortable path, the distance between you and the wealthy path gets wider. Not linearly, exponentially. Because the savings you didn't invest, the lifestyle inflation you didn't resist, the future-oriented decisions you didn't make, they all compound against you. A 10-year gap in wealth-building behavior doesn't create a 10-year gap in outcomes. It creates a 20 or 30-year gap. That's the brutal math of comfortable. It feels like you're close to wealthy. You're not. You're on a completely different curve, and the longer you stay on it, the harder the jump becomes. All right, so what do you actually do with these 3 questions? Here are 4 concrete moves. First, calculate your savings rate for the last 3 years. Not your balance. Your rate. Income minus expenses divided by income. If it's trending down, that's your number 1 priority. Find the leak. Second, look at your biggest monthly expense right now and compare it to what it was 3 years ago. Then compare that growth rate to your income growth rate. If your biggest expense grew faster, you need to freeze it, not cut it. Freeze it. Let your income catch up and create a gap. Third, before your next major financial decision, ask yourself one question. Is this for current me or future me? You don't have to always pick future you, but you should be picking future you at least a third of the time. If you can't remember the last time you made a decision that favored your future self over your present comfort, that's a red flag. And fourth, revisit these 3 questions every 6 months. Not because the answers change overnight, but because drift is invisible. You won't feel yourself sliding from the wealthy path to the comfortable path. You have to measure it. Look, most people will watch this, nod, and change nothing. That's the comfortable path in action. If this actually shifted how you think about where you stand, drop a like so more people see it. And if you want more of this kind of honest, no-fluff financial thinking, subscribe. I'll keep making these whether the algorithm likes it or not. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more finance insights every week.